Hello and welcome back, my dear students, once again to your YouTube channel. In today's video, we shall be discussing a poem from your ICSE syllabus. This one is called A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945. And this poem is present in the book called Treasure Chest, a collection of ICSE poems and short stories. So, without any further ado, let's get started. But before I begin, you know what's coming up next. Yes, if you find these videos helpful and interesting, please do not forget to give me a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It shall keep me motivated. Alright, so let's get started. I am on page 16 of your treasure chest and I'll be reading about the poet. All right. Now, this poem, A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945, has a historical context. It is set against the backdrop of the Second World War. When Japan decided not to surrender to USA, the USA had dropped bombs, and these were no ordinary bombs, but rather atom bombs. All right. And for the first time in the history of mankind, that this idea of atom bombs being witnessed by the world. People did not know that there could be something called atom bombs also. So it was for the first time that they were seeing this. Okay, so let's see. Page 16, second last paragraph. The poem was published in 1990 and reflects upon the miserable picture of war, that war entails a lot of destruction, a lot of loss, colossal loss, in fact, not just any loss, but colossal loss, huge loss, not only to life, but also of property. And the implication of these kind of wars, that is, when atom bombs are being dropped, it is not only restricted to one generation only. Generation after generations continue to suffer from these atomic bombs because the radiations remain. All right. Most of you have watched The Railway Men on Netflix, so you must have seen what implication does these things hold. Okay. So, A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945 is an anti war poem that describes the horror in the aftermath of an atomic bomb explosion. This tragic poem depicts the frightful condition of the survivors of the atomic explosion by the United States of America on Hiroshima, Japan during the end of the Second World War on 6th August 1945. So, the nuclear bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima on 6th August was called the Little Boy. The name of the bomb was called Little Boy. Okay. And 3 days later, on August 9, another bomb was dropped in the second city of Japan, Nagasaki. All right. So, such was the scale of destruction. And another interesting thing which I wish to highlight to you is that the poem is written in first person narrative. Okay. And the very fact that the poem has this first person narrative, the account, the telling of the details seem to be extremely immediate and authentic. All right. So, having said that, let's read the poem. A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945. Doctor in Japan or Japanese is known as Haiba Kusha. Okay, this term has to be learned, Haiba Kusha. You could use this in your answers. And what is a journal? A journal is a written record of what one has done or of thoughts written each day or frequently over a long period of time. Okay, so it's a documentation of your daily activities, perhaps. Okay. So let's read. The morning stretched calm, beautiful, and warm. Sprawling half clad, I gazed out at the form of shimmering leaves and shadows. So, see, it's a bright and beautiful morning. Okay, mornings are always associated with new beginnings, but the irony lies in the fact that it is not going to be a new beginning. Of course, it is going to be a new beginning because the world is going to see what atomic bombs can do, but in the negative sense, not in the positive sense. Okay. So sprawling, half clad. Sprawling is stretching, half clad as in because the narrator had gone off to sleep at night, so he was not properly dressed. I gazed out at the form. So he was looking out of the window, and what could he see? Shimmering leaves and shadows, shining with soft light. Shimmering is shining with soft light. Leaves and shadows. So he looked out of the window, and what could he see? The sun rays were falling on the leaves, and the leaves were perhaps moving with a bit of wind, and the shadow was reflecting. He could see that. Suddenly, a strong flash and then another startled me. And all of a sudden, there was a sudden flash of light. Now, you see, the first three lines, the morning stretched, calm, beautiful, and warm, sprawling half clad, I gazed out at the form of shimmering leaves and shadows. The pace in the line is very, very slow. However, when we come to this particular line, suddenly a strong flash and then another startled me. We see the pace gets augmented. There is an immediate increase in pace. This signifies the unimaginable that has happened. I saw the old stone lantern brightly lit, magnesium flares, while I debated it, the roofs, the walls, and as it seemed, the world collapsed in timber and debris. The debris, dust swirled around me in the garden now, and weird, my drawers and undershirt disappeared. So you see, there's no full stop. It is reading as a continuous stretch. So this signifies that the event was happening such suddenly that there was hardly any time to pause. All right. So magnesium flares. Suddenly there was this flash of light, and he thought, is it some magnesium burning? And while he was thinking, within that fraction of second, what happened? The roof, the walls, and it seemed the world around him had collapsed. All right. My drawers are your undergarments and undershirt disappeared. A splinter jutted from my mangled thigh. Mangled is injured. And there was a splinter which was jutting out. My right side bled, my cheek was torn, and I dislodged detachedly a piece of glass, all the time wondering what had come to pass. So his right side was bleeding, you know, his cheek was torn, the skin was falling off because of the atomic bomb. The skin was falling off. And as he was dislodging, as he was removing a piece of glass, he was wondering what has happened all of a sudden. Where was my wife? Alarmed and anxious, I gave out a shout. Where are you, Yoko-san? Yoko-san is the name of the wife. My blood gushed out. The artery in my neck. So the artery which connects the brain, from that only, blood is coming out. So he was in a very dangerous condition. He did not know whether he would be able to survive for long. Scared for my life, and he was a doctor. So he was a hibakusha. He was a man of medicine, so he was worried for his life. I called out, panic stricken, anxious, to my wife, pale, blood-stained, frightened. Yoko-san emerged. So, how did Yoko-san emerge? How did Yoko-san come? In the same disheveled manner, in the same perturbed manner, in the same confused manner. Holding her elbow, so her elbow was badly injured. Holding her elbow, we'll be fine, I urged. Let's get out quickly. So, look at the presence of mind of the doctor as well as the mental strength of the doctor. Despite the calamity, he's saying, we'll be fine. That's his mental strength. We'll be fine. Let's get out quickly. And that is his presence of mind. That if we continue to keep waiting here for long, we might not survive. So, the first thing that we need to do is get out. Just imagine you wake up from sleep and you see everything collapsing right in front of your eyes. That is the horrors that wars bring in. More, of course, it brings in a lot of physical damage, but the kind of psychological trauma it inflicts upon you cannot be put to words. Stumbling to the street, we fell, tripped by something at our feet. So as they were trying to escape, they came out on the street and immediately they tripped on something. What is it? I gasped out when I saw it was a head. It was a man's head lying on the street. Such a gory image. Excuse me, please excuse me. He was dead. So, because it was the head, the doctor tried to find out, are you alive? And then he realized, if the head is only lying, how will he be alive? A gate had crushed him. So, probably as he was trying to pass, a gate had fallen on him and it had crushed him. There we stood, afraid. So, it was an atmosphere of fear, panic, destruction, and horror. There we stood afraid. A house standing before us tilted, swayed, toppled, and crashed. And what do they see in front of their eyes? That a high rise falling down all of a sudden. Oh my God, such a horrific sight. Fire sprang up in the dust, spread by the wind. So, absolute destruction. It dawned on us we must get to the hospital. We needed aid. So, the doctor was being rational despite the series of crises that he was facing. Okay? He realized that he needed to get to the hospital, not only to, get him and his wife medical assistant, but also there would be several others who might have come to the hospital because they have been also suffering from this. And so he needed to attend them. And I should help my staff too. Though this made sense to me then, I wonder how I could, because he did not have any strength left in him. My legs gave way. I sat down on the ground. Thirst seized me. So you see, the basic necessities of life, food, shelter, that is gone. The house is destroyed. Clothing, burnt. Now there is water. He's feeling thirsty. Even that is also gone. So, what do wars do to you? It takes away the basic necessities of survival from you, along with inflicting more than the physical, losses, the psychological trauma on you. Thirst seized me, but no water could be found. My breath was short, but bit by bit, alliteration, my strength seemed to revive, and I got up at length, sorry. So after a long time, the doctor got up. So it is his indomitable spirit. He is not willing to give up easily. I was still naked, but I felt no shame. So now that his clothes have been burned, he's naked, yet he's not ashamed of his nakedness. Why? Because this is metaphorical, children. This nakedness is not only physical, but it is the nakedness, the hollowness of civilization. Yes, we are progressing as civilization. That is how science and technology had made progress. That is why we could devise these atom bombs, right? But then what is progress if we are using this knowledge to, strip humanity of its basic necessities? Aren't we all naked in that sense? Aren't we all hollow? So the doctor feels no shame. Though this thought disturbed me somewhat till I came upon a soldier standing silently, alliteration again, who gave the towel around his neck to me. My legs stiff with dried blood rebelled. So he encounters a soldier who gives him a towel. I said to Yokusang she must go on ahead because the doctor was unable to walk any further. He pleads his wife to go and get medical aid herself. She did not wish to, but in our distress, what choice had we? So destruction does not leave us with a lot of choice. A dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. Why? Because she was his immediate family. So loss of family. My mind ran at high speed, my body crept behind. I saw the shadowy forms of people. He is unable to recognize people now. They are all becoming shadowy forms because he's slowly losing vision. Some were ghosts, some scarecrows, all were wordless, dumb. Nobody was speaking. They were all absolutely quiet. They were shell shocked. They were all dumbstruck. The impact of this attack has been such that they were too numb in pain and fear. Arms stretched out, shoulder to dangling hand. So somebody had arms stretched out, somebody's shoulder was falling off. It took some time for me to understand because he got disoriented by this sudden turn of events. So it took him time to settle down. The friction on their burns caused so much pain. They feared to shaft flesh against flesh again. So entire body was burning because the atom bombs, no? And any form of contact would, burn the whole body up. Those who could shuffled in a blank parade towards the hospital, yet few of them were moving towards the hospital. I saw dismayed a woman with a child stand in my path, both naked. Just look at the calamity. Till now, he was only naked. The narrator was only naked. Now he sees a man, and now he sees a woman who is also naked. Along with that, she has a child in her arms who's also naked. So, the point being that war does not choose its victims. A child could do no harm. A woman could do no harm. Yet they were being stripped of their basic rights, basic dignity as a human being. And why has it been done? Because of thirst for power, because of desire for power. Had they come back from the bath, I turned my gaze but was at a loss that she could stand thus till I came across a naked man. So now he comes across another naked man, and now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us. What is the strange thing? This thirst for power. Stripped us of our clothes. The face of an old woman on the ground was marred, and he comes across an old lady whose face was on the ground, lying, dead probably. But she made no sound. Silence was common to us all. I told you they were absolutely numb with pain and shock. I heard no cries of anguish or a single word. Okay? So, this is the poem. It is a criticism and indictment of war. What are the themes of the poem naturally? Nuclear weapon is the deadliest weapon that is available now. So we should give it a second thought before using it. And moreover, it is an anti war poem. Along with that, we have the indomitable spirit of the doctor. So this is the contradiction, you see, where USA is trying to, completely destroy the civilization of Japan or maim and cripple the civilization of Japan. There is this doctor who is leaving no stone unturned despite being injured so badly himself to serve humanity, to serve the people of Japan and make them to stand still in their own rights. All right. So that's the poem. I hope I have been lucid enough in my explanation of it. If you like this video, please do not forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Also, you could share this video with your friends who you know might also get benefited. I'll be back soon with my next video. Till then, take very good care of your health and goodbye.